Hello fellow YouTubers, this is Bill McFadden from Tone Pure Music, and in this video we're going to take a look at the half-diminished chords, and we're also going to tie the other seventh chords that we've talked about, the majors and the minors. So let's first take a look at the scale of C. And then using just the white notes, we're going to form the triads. The first one, starting at middle C, the C major 7. So you just skip every other note, you have a C major 7. Moving up one, so our bass note is D, and then skipping every note, we have the D minor 7. And then going one note up with our bass at E, we have the E minor 7. And then the fourth note of the C scale, F, skipping every other note gives us the F major 7. And now we have a different seventh chord quality. Skipping every note, we have the G dominant 7, as opposed to the G major 7, which would have an F sharp in it. And then going up to the note A and skipping every other note, we have the A minor 7. And then here comes our first look at the half-diminished, which occurs naturally just by skipping every other note in the C scale. So we have the B half-diminished, and we'll talk a little bit more about what that is in a second. And then going right back up, we're up to the C major 7th chord. Now, if we take a look at the scale, starting from A and just doing the same thing, keeping it to the white notes, which is the A natural minor scale. So the first series of notes is an A minor 7. Then notice when we go up to the B in the A minor scale, we again get the B half diminished 7. And then moving up, we have the C major 7, the D minor 7, the E minor 7, the F major 7, the G 7 or G dominant 7, and the A minor 7. So we get the same chords because we're using the same white notes, but here we have the A minor scale, the relative minor of C major. So you get an insight as to where the half-diminished chord occurs naturally. It occurs naturally in the major scale and also in the minor scale. Now let's take a look starting from B. That is actually it's called the Locrian mode, but it gives you a scale, a Locrian scale, and the first series of triads in that is the B half diminished. So if we compare that to the B major scale, we see that it has a flatted, well, the 2, which is a C, has been in the B major scale is actually sharped, as is the 3rd. And even the E, that occurs naturally in the B scale. The B and the E do, but the C and the D are sharped in the B major scale. And also the F is sharped in the B major, and so is the G, and so is the A. So another way of looking at it, if we go to the C scale, if we flat the 2nd and the 3rd, as well as the 5th, 6th, and 7th, then we have the scale that actually fits the B half diminished chord. So C, D flat, E flat, F, G flat, and then we have A flat, B flat, C. And if we form triads in that scale, which is the C Locrian scale, then we get the C half diminished. So the point is, the natural scale that occurs in the B half diminished scale is the Locrian scale. So if you start over here with B and just keep playing all the white notes, you get the Locrian scale, the B Locrian scale. And the first chord is the B half diminished in that Locrian scale. And then here's the Locrian scale for C. And the triads in that scale, if you skip every other note in that scale, you get C half diminished. Now there's a much easier way to get the half diminished chords. If you go back to our tutorial on triads, just start with a triad. So if I take the C half diminished triad, and then from the G flat, I go up a major third, I get my C half diminished 7. And if I go to my B half diminished, and then from the third note, the A flat, if I go up a major third, I get the D half diminished, and so on. If I do it from E, from the third note of the diminished triad, I go up a major third, I have my E half diminished. And then moving along with the F diminished, if I go up a major third from C flat, which is enharmonically the same as B, I get an E flat, which is and those notes give me the F half diminished. And similarly with G, from the D flat, you go up a major third. And then A half diminished, go up a major third from the E flat, and you have the A half diminished. And then B diminished, you go up a major third from the F, and you have B half diminished. And then we're back to C half diminished, and so on. Now another way to get the half diminished chord is simply to take a 7th chord, like here's a C 7th minor, and then go ahead and just lower the third note of the chord by a half step. So now we have a C half diminished. So, and we could do here's D minor, F, D, F, A, C, and if I just lower the third note to an A flat, we now have D half diminished, and so on. So there's a couple of ways of getting your half diminished chords. And so here we have them all listed. And here you have a C sharp diminished. So actually we started with, we went up to C half diminished, and then we're doing the sharp keys. So here's a C sharp half diminished. You go up a major third from the G, that gives you your C sharp half diminished. And the same thing with the D sharp diminished, go up a major third from the A flat, or and you have your D sharp diminished. Or sorry, I did D there. That's just your D half diminished. So if we start with the D sharp diminished, and the third note is an A, if you go up a major third, it would be actually C sharp. So that gives you your D sharp half diminished. And then if you take a F sharp, a diminished, and then from the C, you go up a major third, you have your F sharp half diminished. Same's true with the G sharp half diminished, go up a major third from D, and you have your G sharp half diminished. So that's an exhaustive list of all of your half diminished chords. And here we see another example of the C half diminished. And of course, you always want to drill your major scales, your C, your D, and your E. Oh, I guess we left one out. Here's the A sharp. There we go. And then if we go up a major third from E, we now have the A sharp half diminished. And so here's your Locrian scale again. And again, skip every note starting with the B and you have your B half diminished. And then the same with here's your C Locrian. Because your Locrian scale in general has a flatted 2, a flatted 3rd, flatted 5, flatted 6, and flatted 7th relative to your major scale. So if you remember, the minor scale has a flatted 3rd, 6th, and 7th. So with the Locrian, in addition to flatting the 3rd, we flat the 2nd. In addition to flatting the 6th and 7th, we flat the 5. So you actually have 5 flats from your major scale, and that gives you your Locrian. The Locrian scale will have the first chord, the first 7th chord will be your half diminished. So the C half diminished 7 is the first series of triads starting on C. So that'll be the end of this tutorial for the half diminished, and we'll tie these chords together along with modes, and we'll also get into the fully diminished chord, which actually isn't naturally occurring in in the major or minor scales. So we'll get into that in the next video, and also we'll get into some modes, because modes are an important aspect in writing music, and we'll see how all this ties into the modes. So this is Bill McFadden signing off from Tone Pure Music. If you like this video, please click like, and if you wish to be notified of upcoming videos, then please subscribe. So Bill McFadden signing off from Tone Pure Music.